And we're live. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Spiritside Chats. So exciting to have everybody back and to see all these beautiful smiling faces. And it's funny. It's like part of me wants to say let's just breathe for like an hour and a half together. There's nothing to even talk about.
We did that yesterday. Karen and Anthony and Brandon and I for like half an hour. It was wonderful.
I'd love to open it up now too, to just, if anybody else has anything to share on this conversation to like start us off, I'd love to hear from you now.
In that space of that tingle that comes through when there's that instant connection, there's something subtle that's revealed there, and it's something that has to do with a feeling of safety almost, or a comfortability within our being, knowing and recognizing the spirit in another, or at least the essence of kindness or joyfulness or lovingness within another. Often that can come through the simplicity or the gentility of someone's voice. Like in sort of modern jargon, there's a term called ASMR, or I believe it's something like autonomic sensory motor response, or something akin to that, meridian response, and it gives that tingle down one's spine, or that feeling of bliss through the body. And that's something that personally I've been able to experience that regularly. Whenever I see somebody doing something with care and attention, it's not just something that's caused by, say, a sound field or some of the other techniques that are used to facilitate that. It comes from the gentility of purpose. And when it comes to alignment with spirit, our gentility of purpose is one of those things that can much more easily bring us back to that breath. As Jordan is talking to here, how do we live in a world with so many things and so much going on and all this stuff, and still yet live in the breath, in that beautiful, peaceful, almost feeling like we're being held by the divine cradle space. How do we live there and be there and be fully in our being, and then do that together? And so I love that this current call and this conversation is about that. It's about what is it that we're doing to bring each other into that connectivity.
For many of us, I feel in the spiritual community, kind of going through this as we're figuring out our practices and discovering ourselves, there's sort of this wave of like lots of practice, everything's really good, and then maybe you're like, wow, I feel so great, I can just coast here, and then you kind of stop meditating for a while, or you kind of slow down on maybe like waking up at specifically this time, and then you start to feel like, oh, I'm tired all the time, or I'm this, or I'm not feeling as good. It's because I forgot my practice, so let me jump on it again, and kind of like riding that wave and refining it, kind of as Aaron was saying, closer to 5, so that every you get to a place where you just know, like, to keep on the practice, essentially, and not fall off of it. Or if you're feeling like things changing, adjusting your practice in a way that maintains the level of alignment, or it continues to increase your alignment with spirit, rather than kind of falling off and eating a bunch of, say, junk food, or just putting yourself in a position to carry a denser energy. But at the same time, if that should come to pass, there's a reason for it, and it encourages you to actually sit and go inside and go, what's causing this, like within me, what actions, what emotion, what feeling am I pulling into to learn, what lesson is there for me to learn. And eventually you learn the lesson, and you shift back, and you continue riding that wave. And that's a very common thing.
And then I actually have to continue to what Jordan was saying. I think that I'll be doing really good, and I'm like, oh, things are awesome, and then I fall, and then something's wrong, and I'm like, okay, well, gotta keep continuing, and then we rise up again, and then it's like this kind of wave. But I think another big practices that I've been doing is I've been trying to align to the highest timeline, or the highest opportunities, the highest possibilities with what God wants us to be. And like I've been just like picturing all of these opportunities and kind of like manifesting them and focusing that immediately when I get like a bad thought about like a bad reality or a bad possibility. I'll be like, well, what if this could happen? And then like I'll think about that and I'll resonate with that, and then like I'll continue like to let it flow, you know. Even if I fall, we're all here, and you guys are all continuing to do the work, and man, so am I. So just that's it. Thank you.
We cannot just head towards the light all the time. We need to walk in balance by exploring both sides. When you have light and dark together, they unite and they become the way forwards, the way that serves both, the way that serves everyone in the equation. And that's something that's happening whether we like it or not. No matter how much we try to avoid it, we will always be compelled to explore both sides of life, both sides of our humanity. And I think through ritual practices, we learn to see what's coming. We learn to know how we will react to things, and the vibration, the waves that are emanating out from all different sources, and become in tune with them, and know that if the shit's coming, then you're going to go through that, and you learn it, and it'll be a wondrous, beautiful thing, which then help you channel the light more. As well as when the good times are good, you make the best of it, and you live in the moment.
For my own personal journey, I had to let me phrase this. I was always given the opportunity to follow a spiritual path. Like that potential was always present. It was always like the information's there, do the right thing, you know, like it was actively taught to me. But I had to make my own choice first with whether or not I wanted to actually adhere to that path or whether I wanted to go off and have my own experience. Now, after many years of having my own experience and realizing that the behavior that I was doing wasn't really conducive to the reality that I wanted to build for myself, I realized that I had to start making some changes. And from that state and that perspective of, oh, wait, maybe I could be doing something better. Maybe I have some influence in this reality myself. Now I want to make a change because my experiences aren't reflecting what I want to create. So I'm going to now go inside myself and do some work to try and help change that.
Also, sometimes I think, when we say like we're going, you're elevated and then you fall, like sometimes it's not so much that you're just like, or any of us kind of getting careless, but rather that through the process of unpacking, the ego, really to get to the root and cores of what's really inside of us, these like deep subconscious programmings from childhood and stuff like that, family dramas and traumas as a kid in school or whatever it is, that like it's like this thing needs to come out. It's sort of the bubbling up, and it sort of pulls your attention away a little bit. You're like, whoa, there's a vibration, there's a wiggle in me that has to come out, and in that it's like, oh, it feels like a crap because it's moving through you, but there's this thing that also we learned at Rhythmia, which is what's coming is going, and that like as it's coming out for a reason, and you just breathe through it and you move through it, and then it's gone, because the process of it coming gives you the opportunity to face it, look at it, observe it, grow from it, learn from it, and all of that. And then once that acknowledgement is faced and you find that clarity, then it has no choice but to transmute into something else.
The first intention is show me who I have become. So that right there is the like, let me look at myself. Because a lot of times too, our focus is really on the external world and on like, what am I supposed to do in this world? But the meditation of like, how has that shaped my perspective of who I'm supposed to be or what I'm supposed to do? Like, how have all of these events shaped my perspective of reality? Show me who I have become. And with that meditation, at least for myself personally, all the stuff that was like contra energy. If my main intention's going out in one way, if I have a vibration that's counterintuitive towards that, then where's that coming from? And help me identify that in myself. And with that realization, or with even just the mindset of continual self-realization of I never want to stop going through myself and my behavior from that analytical perspective and say, like, can I do this better, or was that the best way to do it? And it's that continual self-observation. And so the practice that I take personally is just making sure that I have enough time in a day to sit down with myself and really review, okay, what have I done? And how have I been in alignment with spirit? Is there a refinement that I can make here? And there's always like that closer and closer to 5, like there's always room for improvement. So it's just the continual mindset of, am I paying attention to the things that I can observe within myself, or am I like just going around willy-nilly about it? So it's that intention of, show me who I've become and now let me work through this.
How can people kind of get into this? Like it seems like crazy, we seem like crazy people to a lot of the mainstream average person, right? And life's messy, like you said, life's messy, chaotic, got a lot of stress on you, weights on. So how can you get out of that? And I'd say is just have some fucking fun. Like forget about your ego, forget about who you perceive yourself as and how you perceive other people perceiving it. And
even in this small group here, the feeling of connectivity through that safety of space is already so powerful. Imagine bringing that every day, as Jordan's alluding to, where we have that breath and we carry that singularity of the ability to come back and come back and come back and come back to the presence of our spirit, the presence of our being, cleared of all of the stuff that's bringing us out of it, and just staying within that space.
I want to say thank you for everyone who's watching this call, like now and in the future, for watching us grow, because like we're on this live, right? But then like also growing with us. You guys are so amazing, and like for just like being a part of this community. You guys are pretty beautiful, even though we don't get to see your faces.
I love everyone, and I have just thoroughly enjoyed this call today. So thank you all.
My love for you all.
Thank you everybody so much for joining us today on this call. It was an absolute delight, as always.
Just have some fucking fun.
Have some fucking fun.